Let me get one of them slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on, that.
They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move it kosher. As if they make the wrong move it kosher. You see me, they like, ooh, chemo shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. Coming up on by the bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, chemo shopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Show they like, damn, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Sabe got this bitch off the hand, got the juice, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, this is salt. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move it kosher. As if they make the wrong move it kosher. Hey! One way, one way, one way, one way, one way. Coming up on my I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settling? See, you locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's One West. You can check the residency. I reside when soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum. Got you fuckers scared some. Get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black Glock, red drum, black and yellow air ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest. I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was going up. They was doing a lot of talking. Now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit, lil nigga. I'm past veteran. Never feeling third, lil nigga. I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all stepping, kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS, a mean right. That's mean right, we build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a kind. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowing by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoking till we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move it kosher. As if they make the wrong move it kosher. You see me, they like, ooh, chemo shopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hit that raw shit. Coming up on by the bullshit.
Would you like to make a French? I got coconut.
All right. Ready?
You on?
Yeah, come.
Okay, most time, Christ.
Ready?
Let me grab. Salaki, Alma. Hey, we get ready to the class to start. We get ready to start the class right now, so hold down. Are we on already? We live? We'll sign Christ. So clap it up. Yahweh Shem Yahshua, brother, thousand of the brothers. Yahweh Shalom, Allah Shem Yahshua, the sisters. I'm Officer 1,000 of cars. Welcome back to the Feast of Purim. Apologize for the late start. However, Esau tried to, come in. I mean, Esau and the devil trying to stop all of our process, but we're gonna keep going forward. Understand? Did anybody want to recap who was out last week? Anybody want to give what you take away from yesterday? Give your input, comments, anything like that? Nothing. Y'all just quiet. This is an interactive school. We interact. Go ahead, sis.
Can you recap? Because we left.
Oh, you left out? Oh, you had to go serve the food.
Yeah.
Well, sis, you was here all day, right? You want to bring the sis up to speed? You want to recap?
The first queen wasn't being submissive or obedient to her king. So he decided to, court other sisters because of her lack of being submissive.
Right.
And that's how Esther came into part. She was being humble. Her uncle
Mordecai.
Introduced her or brought her around, and she became the new queen.
Absolutely.
And it came to the point where the king was thinking about killing the people because of her uncle not bowing down to him.
Right.
But she knew that she couldn't just go to the king without the scepter, so she was.
Not yet. We got there yet. You wasn't reading ahead.
Okay.
She wasn't reading ahead. But we gonna hold right there. Anyway, I want to give my announcement. Hey, we the I.S.U.P.K started 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yahanna. Understand? So that's what we do. We teach the Bible according to the truth according to the Bible. That blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we are the true Jews of the Bible. Let's clap it up for sister. She was giving a little breakdown of of what we was going through yesterday. So I'll recap where we was at. Like sister said, we at this point right now with a sister, man. Sister's been a sister. She's been trained up under a great home with Mordecai was the father, because she lost her parents. So she's obedient to Mordecai. And so she at this point, she was going to be the queen. She was actually the queen, but because the other queen, Vestai, she didn't want to get up on a submission. She didn't want to do what her husband was telling her to do, which is the king. The king suggested to do something, you do it. She refused. So while she refused, like sister said, we had to go. He wanted to go find another queen. Well, Esther was so humble and so submissive, just the way she was brought up, that it carried on to her everyday life. Right. That's just how she was. And we're teaching now. This is a prime example of sisters to be humble already. Learn to be humble, learn to be submissive, and just be that way across the board. You wouldn't have to work to get it. If you start out that way, you will always be that way. So we're gonna continue into this into these scriptures. So we're gonna go ahead and jump back into the Feast of Purim. But I want to bring a couple of verses out before, because I know a lot of people are struggling on this day to get the Feast of Purim, struggling in our life. We got the Passover coming up. Clap it up for that. And what is known as the Passover demon. The Passover demon is out there. It's going to try to stop you from going to the Passover, the 54th annual Passover in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. So get your ticket, $200 per person. Get your hotels in, get everything booked up, and meet us down there. All right, you understand? But that Passover demon is out there, and you got to persevere through these things, man. You got to persevere through a lot of things because he's going to try to stop you from getting to the Passover. So I wanted to go over into some of these verses real quick. That way to give you some encouragement. All right. So first of all, if we could, our brother bring out the scripture for me. Who's reading for me? You read? All right, we're gonna go into Ecclesiastes and Apocrypha. Ecclesiastes 2 and 1. We're gonna start at verse 1. Ecclesiastes 2, start at verse 1. All right. Just want to give you all just a little bit of encouragement in this day and time right now, because I know it's a struggle trying to get all the garments ready, trying to get all your getting all your kids, if you have any children, trying to get to the Passover, the hotel fees. I know it's a burden. I know it's a lot, but try your best to make it to the Passover, because that's important to see our brothers and sisters get together. So I just want to give everybody a little bit of encouragement in this process. Read it when you got it, brother.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
When you come, that's one of my favorite subjects. We're going to continue on a couple more verses beyond that. That's one of my favorite scriptures because it's always tempting. You're tempted not to come to class. You're tempted not to do right, not to be submissive to your husband. You're tempted to forego the Passover, saying, you know what, let's go next. You're tempted to say, you know, I don't have a garment. I don't have a nice dress. I'll go next time. That's what you're tempted to do. And in life, a lot of people tempted to be an alcoholic. They're tempted to be on weed. All these things, you're tempted by the devil. So you'll be, you know, so you won't go forward and do the Lord's will. That temptation is going to come if you want to serve the Lord.
Right.
A lot of brothers know that. We get tempted a lot. Sisters get tempted a lot. We all get tempted. I know the sisters get tempted. Oh, y'all in the cult. How many times have you heard that? Y'all a cult leader. Y'all a cult leader. Y'all love the cussing generals. Y'all a cult. And the brothers also, we say, hey, we cult leaders.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know you're tempted, man. Multiple wives, tempted. But as you see in the story of these heathen, that was tradition back then, even to then. This is how things went back. The general brought out a couple weeks ago how the 10 virgins was like unto to the kingdom. He likened the 10 virgins unto the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Only 5 made it through. You got to go back and read that. You know what I'm saying? Got time to break it down. But it's always been like that. You understand? But you're tempted. Keep reading, brother. Keep reading on.
Verse 2. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure.
Constantly fight, man. Set your heart aright and constantly fight. What you set out to do, set out to finish it. Even though you're going to go through trials and tribulations, continue to fight through it. Keep finish it out. Keep going.
And make not haste in time of trouble.
Keep going.
Verse 3. Cleave unto him.
Cleave unto him. Cleave unto the Most High. When things don't seem right, still cleave unto and do the things that you know. When Esther was in her problem and her issues, she got word that that Haman was going to kill all the Jews. She did what she only knew. She endured and did what she knew. She fasted for 3 days. That's what she did. She made supplication because she endured and she hung on to what she knew. The Most High. Whatever the words that she understood that Mordecai taught her, she held on to it. So when you're going through these problems and these situations, when you're fighting these demons, whatever step you go through, whether it be weed, whether it be alcoholism, whether it be LGBTism, whether it be all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to get canceled. you endure, you cleave on to the Most High, and surround yourself. It's very important to surround yourself with people that's in the truth. If you're not in this truth, if you come into the truth and think that you're going to do this alone, you're going to fall every time. You need your brothers. You need your sisters. Sometimes you got to separate yourself from the world for a time because your remembrance of your familiarity with things in the world will take you back to what you always knew. So if you're having a weed problem, you go around the same places you was with the brothers smoking the weed, guess what you're going to end up doing? You're going to end up smoking the weed. That's what you're going to end up doing. If you out there messing with, these LGBT and you are cross-dressing and you go to the same places, guess what you're going to end up doing? The same thing. But if you have your brother and your sister with you that keep you in check, iron sharpens iron.
Right.
Iron sharpens iron.
That's right.
And so then you'll find your way out of these things till you're able to strong enough to do it. Not all the time. You can distance yourself from your brothers from a time or two and still walk the right path. Keep going, brother. Keep reading that for me.
And depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Some brothers be like, you know what? I'm just going to go away for a little while and not come back to the truth. You will never come back in here. Once you leave this place, you probably will. The chance of you coming back into the truth is very, very slim. Because what's going to happen is that the demon is going to get stronger. You leave the truth for what you know. Now the Lord's going to hold you accountable for what you know. And then you try to come back, those demons are going to be 10 times more worse to fight off. Keep reading.
Whatsoever I brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed, Salakia, when thou art changed to a low estate.
A low estate. Don't change. I know the bills are coming over top of your head. I know your house is in foreclosure looking like, damn, I'm going to lose the house. I know the apartment is rising. Apartment prices are rising. But hold on. Hold steady to the facts. Hold true to what the Lord has told you. When you come low, when you come to a low state. Don't forget the things that you was taught. The Lord is going to put a little pressure on you.
Right.
The world is going to put a little pressure on you. Don't fold. We talked yesterday about compromising. Don't compromise, man. I know it looks bleak, it looks dim. Don't compromise. Keep it rolling.
That's right.
Keep going, brother.
Khan. Verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire,
Right.
and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
Gold is tried in the fire. You get that gold when you pluck it up from the earth. It's all messed up, got dirt all on it. You don't even know it's gold, but you put it in that fire, all the sediments and the rudiments that comes off of it was nothing. It was waste. But what was left, that's strong. So the Lord is going to put you through the fire. Trials and tribulations is your fire. If you come out of that on the other side, you built for this.
Right.
You built for this. Sisters, I know your husband going to put you through hell. I know. You're going to go through problems. Your job going to put you through problems. Your family going to put you through problems. But hold fast to what you know. Because when the fire hits and it settles, you're going to be a stronger woman. You're going to be a stronger man.
Right.
All right? All right, then. So with that being said, just a little encouragement I wanted to get brothers and sisters through, you know, because I know that time is there. Sometimes I got to remind myself, you know what? Stay strong in adversity. Stay strong. Because just because we're in the truth, but that doesn't mean that we're exempt from all the pressures of the world, lives and problems of the world. We're not exempt from that. We just know how to do it better. We know where to go. We know how to hold on to our faith. All right. So that, no further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump into Esther, man. Go to Esther. We're gonna start at chapter 5, I believe, in verse 1, where we left off at. I believe that's what it is. 5 and 1, if I'm not mistaken.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 5 and verse 1. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house. If you
can imagine the inner courts, like Israel had an inner court, and inner court. Inner court where all the Israelites, outer court where all the Israelites were gathered, do some things, but the inner court is where all the holy of holy things took place at. Right. This is the same type of deal. You have a whole big city. You had the outer court where festivals go, and you have even people get public hangings. Whatever judgment comes out, it goes to that outer court. Whatever festivals going on is on that outer court. But the inner court is where the people of prestige are. The king goes. That's his inner court. So that's why back in those times, when someone went into the inner court, they're liable to get killed because they think that something's going on. You're trying to assassinate the king. Right. So therefore, they have dignitaries and people who are allowed to be there. Then you have people outside of that, they're not allowed to be there. So these people will kill you on sight because you don't have no permission to be there. You have to have permission to go into the inner courts. And this is where the king was, and this is where Esther was going to. And she knew her fate. Esther knew that if she went to that court, in the inner court, it's a possibility she was going to get killed. She knew that, but she took a chance because of who she was. She was an Israelite sister who was brought up under great tutelage of her uncle, and she knew who her God was. So she took that chance. She understood she could die, but that's just the price we pay when you serve the Lord. You may die serving the Lord, but you will die a righteous death. No one's gonna look at you and say, "Well, damn, they died. They compromised." They're gonna say, "This is a great sister, a great brother, and your death will be honored. You'll be honored." And she understood this, and she said, "You know what? If I die, I die." And that's deep coming from her sister, man. I asked questions yesterday about, what woman was ready to die for her family or for her man or her people. Only one sister said, "I'll do it." So it's a difficult choice. But brothers know we face this choice all the time. We die for our sisters, man. That's just what it is.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So Esther understood this and she took a chance. So now here she is now in the inner court going to petition the king. Very dangerous. Keep going.
Verse 2. And it was so when the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter.
So at this point, we had some scepters last night. The kids had a bunch. You should have saw it. You could have taken a picture of it, man. Kids had the scepters, and the little sisters had the little tiaras on. It was an awesome sight, man. It was a beautiful sight. But the brothers had the kids had the scepter, that they held. So at this point, she walks into the inner circle, at the inner courtyard. You got to imagine it. She walks in the inner courtyard. The king see her, but she obtained so much favor with the king through how she talked, how she was sweet, how she was submissive, that the king took favor to her. And as soon as he saw her, he was like, here you go. He gave her that scepter. He put it out there so she could touch it. Once she touched it, she knows she was safe. And now she can petition the king. The king understood that she could have got killed because he couldn't save her. He would have tried to save her. It would have been too late because the other men got the order. If you see somebody coming in without permission, do what you have to do. So the king just happened to see her and say, oh, I got you. She obtained favor from him and held it out. He didn't have to do that. He could have been like, well, what is she doing here? I didn't petition her. I'll do what I got to do. And she would have been killed on sight. But the chance she took, but because Esther was who she was, she obtained favor and she was able to talk to the king. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Then said the king unto her, what wilt thou, Queen Esther? And what is thy request? It shall be even given thee to the half of the kingdom.
Damn, I don't know how bad this sister looked. This sister must have been bad. She must have looked damn good, man. She must have looked outstanding. Because this king said, yo, what is it? What is your request? Give it unto the half of the kingdom. Like, whatever you need, I got you. What you need, boo? Go ahead, brother.
Even without a prenup, he was going to give a half.
Without the prenup, he was like, yo, who want prenup? I mean, he was ready to get it. He was ready. Hey, what you need, baby? I mean, this sister must be bad.
Right.
I know, brothers, I know y'all seen some bad sisters the other day up in the I.S.U.P.K. But Esther or Myrtle? Myrtle was a bad girl, man. She's what you call a bad bee and didn't have to tell nobody that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She had to tell nobody. She was humble and submissive. And just about her being that, she was that queen bee. She was that queen. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we got to be. Sisters got to be like that, man. But listen to the response that she said. Now, this is the king talking about what you want, baby. I got you. Anything to the half of the kingdom, you got it. What you want.
Right.
And this is what she says after this. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 4. And Esther answered, if it seemed good unto the king.
Is that what?
If it seemed good unto the king.
If I could, sir. Salakia, sir. That was what she said earlier.
Right.
She said, Salakia, sir. Go ahead.
God. Let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him. Verse 5. She
said, come to the banquet. Now she's thinking her wheels are turning. But she got to get on the king. The king's got to be with her, and she got to get that king to go with what she got to go on. She said, I request a banquet for you and Haman. Remember, Haman trying to kill the Jews. He wanted them dead. But she requested a banquet. But the way she was speaking to that king, he was just dazed. She didn't come to him, hey, this is what she didn't do. She didn't come and say, well, you going to buy me something? Because I need it. If you want to mess with me, you got to buy me this. You got to take me out here. She didn't say that. Most sisters today, you want the kingdom that this man was offering her, half of the kingdom, without doing anything. Just because you're there. You'll say, I've heard sisters say, you know what? I need a man who got money if I mess with them. I just met you.
Right.
How am I going to give you anything? I just met you. Let's have a conversation. Well, for me to conversate with you, can you take me out and buy me a Birkin bag? I just met you.
Right.
Why would I give you anything if I just met you? So sisters in the world, they ain't talking about our sisters here in the truth, trust me. They ain't talking about us. But the sisters in the world just want something for nothing because they've been told that they are Esther. They are the queen.
Right.
And they're not. They've been told this ever since the beginning of time. Ever since the beginning of Genesis, they've been telling her, tempting her with that. You're going to be a queen. You're going to know all this stuff. You could be like a god.
Right.
In the garden.
Right.
You're going to be a god. It's a lie. These things that they tell our sisters is a lie. Sisters, you have to work. You have to work for that man. You have to work for your family. Just like brothers got to work. We got to work for our families. We got to work for a man to be successful. You got to work. Got to go through it. Sisters the same way. So Esther understood that. And now the queen is saying, hey, the king is saying, hey, what you need? And she, by her sweet voice, said, hey, Salakia, sir, I would like to do this. Let me go continue.
Verse 6. And the king said unto Esther, Salakia, verse 5.
Yeah.
Then the king said, cause Haman to make haste.
Hurry up, get Haman. Go ahead, get him. Go ahead.
That he may do as Esther hath said.
Mm-hmm.
So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared.
All right. Now we at the banquet. Esther set up with all her girls and they set everything up. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition?
Now the king's kind of curious, even though he's been stricken by her beauty, he still want to know what's going on. What's up, baby? What I gotta do for you? I know you just this ain't part of the petition. I know there's more to it. What you need? Go ahead.
And it shall be granted thee.
Mm-hmm.
And what is thy request? Even to half of the kingdom it shall be performed.
He's still standing, man. Whatever you need, whatever you want, the whole kingdom. I'm gonna put the whole kingdom up for you. What is it, baby? What you need? Because she came to him with sweet lips. She came to him with sweet pleasantry. Somebody give me Proverbs 16:24. She came to him with sweet lips. And take through this whole conversation with Esther, I want you sisters to take heed of how she is talking to this king. If you want something done, and the bad thing, the main thing about it, most sisters know how to get a man to do something for you. Y'all know how to turn that charm on. Y'all know how to click it on y'all, especially if you got a husband. You know what he want. You know what he like.
Right.
You're going to go into that realm what he likes, and you're going to placate right there. Women in the world, that's not your man, but you're trying to put yourself in a position to get that, brother. Placating what a man wants. Have humble, sweet. Anybody got the verse?
Count out of one.
Go ahead, give it to me. All right.
This book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 24.
Uh-huh.
Pleasant words
Uh-huh.
are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones.
The way you speak is like sweetness. It's like a honeycomb, man. You can speak to a man to bring him up. You can speak to a man to make him anger. You can speak to a man to bring him back down. A lot of our brothers have been killed because of the heightness of a woman. You out there, something happened to her out there, and the situation go down, and go get him, baby. He ain't talking to you that way. She popping off. And he's like, oh, now you done charge that brother up. Now that brother getting killed because all you had to do was say, don't worry about it, baby. We going home. Don't even sweat it. It ain't even worth it. Now you charge the brother down. And now you live to see another day. So the way Esther was speaking to this king was like that of sweetness of a honeycomb. She talked real sweet to him and nice. Wasn't all that anger and aggressiveness. All right. Let's go back to Esther.
Count out of one. Count.
All right. Continue on.
Verse 7. Then answered Esther and said, my petition and my request is. Verse 8. If I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king,
put them words on it. If you find sight in me, and if it pleases you, sir, count out of one card. This is how she's talking to him. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir. If it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them. And I will do tomorrow as the king hath said.
Now he already pitched this for like a little brunch or whatever to get him to sit down and listen to the big request that she wants. Her plotter, she wants Haman. She wants Haman there.
Right.
Understand? Because Haman is the one who put out the petition to kill all the Jews. We've been battling this for a while. Even the Greeks have done this. Even the Greeks has put out. Somebody give me 2 Maccabees starting in verse 6. 2 Maccabees 6. Starting at 6. It's not the first time that they want to kill all of us. They want to kill us today with the police brutality, with the abortion of our babies, with the police killing us in the streets. They poison our food. They're trying to take us out today. The same food they're giving us today are not giving us the food they get giving their people and their food in their neighborhoods. Right. They're not doing that. They're giving it to us because they want to kill all of us off. There's nothing new under the sun. It's the same thing that's been going on since the time because, believe it or not, Israelite, you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you run this place, really. Everything is ran off the basis of what we do. Right. What we do. And they want to get rid of us because we're growing on top. The Lord promised Abraham that I will give you the sand of the seas. Well, we just include Blacks. We're only 13% of the economy. 13%. So how's that the sand? It's like, I can count them. But when you start adding in the Hispanics, the Native Indians, now it grows to an unimaginable amount. You can't count us. We're too many. Right. And they're trying to get rid of us. So when you got to read it, when you got it. So we got 2 Maccabees, start at verse 6.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
This is the Maccabees. This is the Greeks' captivity. That was taking over us. We couldn't even say we're a Jew. And to this day, you can't say you're a Jew.
Right.
A lot of brothers have said that.
Right.
Oh, we're a Jew. Anti-Semitism. Take his job from him. Put him in jail. All this kind of thing. You can't even confess today that you're the Jew. That was going on back then. The second Maccabees. We can't say who we really are. That's why we always say our identity has been stolen from us. It's been taken from us. Even though they treat us like trash, but these so-called Amalek Jews, they supposedly went through the same thing that we went through. They went through struggle with what's the name? The Holocaust, the so-called Holocaust. They say they went through that. They've been put in ovens and fired and killed and all this good stuff. But yet they still exact the same punishment on us. Don't you have any kind of feelings, sympathy, empathy of what you went through? So if you went through that, why would you put us through that? Right. You know how it feels. So why would you do that to us? Because they have no care. They don't give a damn about us. And we can't even say we're Jews. We're the real Jews. Right. Because we get persecuted. Read that scripture one more time.
Khan. This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
That's what he was going through back then. That's what we're going through in the Persian Empire. And that's what we're going through right now. And so Esther understands this. Remember, Mordecai understands the history of Amalek. He knows this in his mind. And if he's any kind of a good a teacher, he taught this to Esther. So she knows what she's facing up against. Mordecai, I got to get him. So all this thing that she's preparing is to get Mordecai in position. And the Lord is with her. You understand?
Right.
Keep going.
Khan. This is the book of Esther, chapter 5 and verse 9. Then went Haman forth that day joyful, and said with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai.
Mordecai was that nigga, man. That Benjamin said, hey, I don't give a damn who you are. That gave him more of a reason to not even deal with him. I know you're trying to kill me now. So what the hell am I bow down for you for now? You're trying to kill my people. I wasn't doing it then. Damn sure ain't doing it now. That's right. I know what you all about. So the hell with you. So when Haman seen this, he got even more furious. Right. Goddamn niggas. Right. I mean, and look at it today. We bring it to the day. I mean, we're running the football area, running NBA. You just shut up and dribble, nigga. That's what they told LeBron James. Just shut up and dribble. Because we won't bow down. Because we got a voice. Nah, just shut up and dribble, nigga. That's all you can do. Ain't nothing changed. Same stuff going on to the day with that. Right. Shut up and make that damn CD. I made the money. Right. I made everything. Can I get my royalties back? Nah, you ain't getting nothing back. This was going on in the kingdom today. Keep going, brother.
Verse 10. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself. And when he came home, he sent and called for his friends and Zeresh, his wife. And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children and all the things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes, the princes and servants of the king.
Pride coming before the fall.
Right.
Here he go. Haman out there. I'm gonna show everybody. Hey, baby, come. We got all our friends. I'm gonna show you what I did. Let me show you what Esther gonna do for me, man. The king done promoted me here. Call all my children. Everybody. Look what's happening. Woe is me. Look at me. What are you doing it right now? Showing all the stuff that I got promoted to this. I got ranked up. You know what I'm saying? I got all this. I got all that. Yeah, and Esther, she gonna give me some more raise. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Verse 12.
He's bragging right now.
Haman said, moreover, yea, Esther the queen did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared by himself. Myself. But myself.
She had a banquet for me and the king.
Right.
It's me and the king, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else was allowed up in there.
Right.
It was just me and the king and Esther. I'm that nigga. I'm the man.
That's right.
That was in his mind. I'm the man. Keep going.
And tomorrow am I invited unto her also with the king. Verse 13. Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate.
I don't care. All that stuff don't mean nothing to me. If I go out there and see this nigga not bow down to me, he just sitting there and don't relish me when I come through this. I don't care. I get all that stuff. I like it. I want all of it, but I want to see that Benjamite nigga bow down to me. If I see him sitting at the gate, I can't stand it. Go ahead.
Salaki, sir. It kind of just shows the wickedness of these heathens in terms of they can have it all. They can have all the riches, all the glory, all the fame, and still want to see us fall.
They want more. You can never, their heart can never be content with anything.
Right.
They want that and more.
Right.
That's their spirit. I mean, he just told them, he just brought people in so he can see all the stuff, all the riches he got and the positions he has. But he still wants Mordecai to bow down to him. Right. Even though to him, Mordecai ain't nothing but a stupid Jew. That's how you know this is spiritual. Mordecai don't mean nothing to him. He can go out there and crush Mordecai with his finger. He don't mean nothing to him. But he still wants that important. He wants that nigga to bow down.
Right.
But you got all these things, but you still want that nigga vex you. He vexes you. Why? Because he's the chosen child of the Most High God.
That's right.
That's why he vexes. Their spirit fights. Our spirit, Amalek, and all the heathens of the world, our spirit fights with them. I don't care how close you are. I see some good oppressors. I see some good Edomites. They're good people to me. Don't give that. Just because, the Lord sent that oppressor to help you out. Because that's all around. That's what you live around at the time. That's what's always around at the time. So he's helping you. Don't think for a second he won't sell you out. Right. Because he will. Don't think for a second that friend will leave you. Because they will.
Right.
But Haman was so disgusted that this man won't bow down to him. And he just bragged on all the riches and the banquets that he going to. That's a heavy point you said there, brother. Yep. Keep going.
Khan, verse 14. Then said Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high. And tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet. And the thing pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made.
And here, this wicked woman. She over there. She like, yeah. This wicked woman. You know what you should do? That's what you should do. You should go ahead and try to hang him before you even go to the daggone place. Before you even go to the banquet, go ahead and make a gallows 50 feet high and hang Mordecai in his battle. That's what you should do.
Right.
Her and the friends, they hyping them up now. Now she got hype man hyping them up. This is what we should do. Birds of a flock, brother, they flock together. And if not, they just want to finesse him. They want what Haman has. His wife is happy. She ain't doing nothing. Now his friends want to be with him. He don't even understand that. His friends want to be like him. Wait for him to fall so they can take his spot. But they're hyping him up. They don't give a damn. They just want what he has. So now they give him stuff. Yeah, you should do this. You should do that. You should do this. And now he's like, yeah, you know what? Pompous. This is a pompous Amalek. And if Saul would have understood to kill him on the spot like he's supposed to, we wouldn't have been going through this problem. That's why it's important to follow through what the Lord told us. Because now we got to contend with this dude. Because you failed to do your job.
Right.
It worked like that back then because the Lord said follow orders. When you fail to do your job, you make it harder for other people. You have to do your job. If Saul would have took him out and killed him, we wouldn't be fighting with Haman right now in the Persian Empire about killing us. But because he failed, because he wanted other options, he wanted other objectives that met his own, now we're faced with getting ready to get killed. We're faced with that. And that's crazy. So here we are. So in life, do the job that's given to you, man. Do the job unto the Lord. If you were supposed to sweep the floor, then damn it, sweep the floor like you're supposed to be sweeping the floor.
Right.
You're supposed to mop it and clean it up.
That's right.
Because you don't know, somebody might come and slip and fall, and because you failed to mop the floor up right, now they hurting, back all messed up, whatever. You have no idea what you're going to do and cause the ripple effect because you failed to do your job. Brothers go to camp. We go to camp. Be clean when you go to camp.
Right.
I mean, I heard this one story. You know, we out there doing something. You know, and we make a joke of. We said, "Damn, I feel like Joshua. Somebody unclean." Because things don't seem to go right. You know, it's killing all the people. Damn, I feel like Joshua. Who ain't unclean? You know, because by you not doing what you're supposed to do, you can cause someone to die.
Right.
You can cause someone to die. And because he didn't kill that king, the Amalek king, now we face death because of this descendant of that king. All right, keep going.
Khan Adawan Khan. This is the book of Esther, chapter 6 and verse 1. On that night, Salakia, on that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of the records of the Chronicles. And they were read before the king.
Now I'm gonna bring you back to remembrance. Remember, I told you, put a finger right there, right?
Right.
Mordecai was in out of court, and he was out there waiting on Esther, checking out, make sure she was Tawab, make sure she was good. 2 men were sought to kill the king, do harm to the king. They wanted to lay hands on him. Mordecai went and told Esther, "Hey, go tell your king that somebody's trying to kill him." They found out. They killed those 2 people, and then they put it in the book. They wrote it in the book. Mordecai let me know what was going on. So at this moment, the king couldn't sleep for whatever reason. That was the Lord. Etching him. Hey, get up. He couldn't sleep for whatever reason. So he goes get the book of the Chronicles and he just started to read. He started to read the book. Go ahead, brother. Keep reading.
Khan Adawan Khan, verse 2. And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana.
Yeah, good job.
And Teresh, 2 of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus.
So he gets up reading the book. He's like, "Man, let's see what I'm going through." And like most men, I mean, I get up sometime at night and I got a little small business I do, trucking. I go up and look at my records sometime in the middle of the night. I just go check some things out. And I see, dang, I could have did better here. Gas miles here. Just going to check your business. And so when you're a king, you have to check your affairs sometimes. So when you're sleeping and you can't sleep, the best thing for a man is going to do, he's going to check his affairs. That's just what we do.
Right.
He goes down and look at the Chronicles. And he's like, "Wait a minute. Mordecai, he's trying to kill me." And he said, now he's like, "What the hell is going on?" But he sees Mordecai attached to the information that he found out these dudes tried to kill me. But Mordecai, he saved it. He stopped it. Continue reading.
Khan Adawan Khan, verse 3. And the king said, "What honor and dignity have been done to Mordecai?"
Damn, he saved me. Did he even get recognized for this? Did anybody, what do we give this man for saving my life? I'm the king. And nobody gonna kill me. This man stopped it. Did we do anything for him? This is what the king is wondering now. What do we do for this brother, man? Keep going.
Khan Adawan Khan. Then said the king's servant that ministered unto him, "There is nothing done for him."
Nah, we ain't do nothing for that. I don't know. Right. So I mean, I don't know. We ain't do nothing. That kind of vexed Mordecai, man. His life was saved. And nobody did anything for him. Go ahead.
Khan Adawan Khan. Verse 4. And the king said, "Who is in the court?" Now Haman was come into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him. Verse 5.
The nerve of this joker, man. The nerve of this dude. Now he come popping, he be bopping through the court. He come Haman. You know, he don't need no skip. He just be bopping through because he's allowed to be in there. He come with his pompous self. I mean, he is so pompous. This man remind me of so many Edomites that I know today, man. Right. They come through this pompous. "Hey, how are you, buddy?" Get away from me, man. Come on. Right. You ain't coming with sweet words in your mouth. I know what you want to do. But the Lord said, "I will make your enemies. If you do what I tell you to do, I will make your enemies fall before you."
Right.
They will bow down before you if you just do what I'm told. That's what we have to look forward to. You do what the Lord asks you to do. You ain't got to worry about nothing. All this thing that's happening right now has been set up by the Most High. He's setting things up. But the problem with setting things up, you got to have somebody has to obey it. You have to obey it. You have to have the courage and the zeal to obey it. Because he can set it up all he wants. But if you ain't going to follow or understand, then what are you going to do?
Right.
You're going to miss it. He'll find somebody else to do it because you just failed to do it. Now you're going to miss your blessings. So you got to be willing to follow the course and follow the rules that the Lord is laying down and have a spirit of okay, discernment, like, yeah, this is what the Lord is. But remember, she fasted and supplicated and made supplication. She did what she knew. So now she's been led by the Spirit to do all these things. The Lord does that to this day. Ask yourself a lot of times, man, I should have went to the right, but I'm glad I went to the left. Something told me to go here. The Lord told you to go there. And you obeyed. And you were spared.
Right.
You were spared. This is what's going on here. And here come Haman. He bebopping through the court like he the big man on campus. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And the king's servants said unto him, behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, let him come in.
Tell him come in. What he want now? Go ahead.
Verse 6. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man who the king delighteth to honor? Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to do honor more than to myself?
Now, if you look into this now, if you think about this going on, the king knew that Haman should have known about this event that took place with Mordecai. He had to know because Mordecai was over that stuff. Mordecai was the second man in charge. He was supposed to know what was going on. That's why he came and said, hey, man, what would you do honor to somebody who deserved it? What would you give him? So now Haman think about, he think about him. He think, oh, Lord, he's talking about me. Oh, the Lord is asking me about me. How much pompous can you get, man? How much prideful can you get?
Right.
And if he was getting that way, be humble about it, but he wasn't humble about nothing. Right. He's thinking immediately, damn, king gonna give me something. I went with the banquet with Esther. Now she having another banquet that only we coming to for us. She was they must gonna honor me about something. So yeah, okay. Keep reading.
Verse 7. And Haman answered the king, for the man whom the king delighteth to honor.
Well, sir, I mean, I think that I should be this is him. This is him like talking.
Right.
Now he's so prideful, he's thinking about, now he's gonna go in. He about to go in and tell you all the things that someone of honor should receive. But he thinking it's him. So he gonna go overboard with it. Go ahead. Let's see what he would give to somebody of honor. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Let the royal apparel be brought which the king useth to wear.
Whatever you use, sir, I think I need that. Them suits and ties you got, I think I need one of those. I want the royal treatment. Right. Suits, bring me that. Keep going.
And the horse that the king rideth upon.
That whip you got, that new Mercedes 745i, whatever it is. Oh, I'm telling my age, I like 745. But anyway, that new whip you got, I think I should near that. But back then, he wanted the nice horses. He wanted the nice king's raiment, and he wants the horses. Go ahead.
And the crown royal, which is set upon his head.
Damn, he wanted a royal. He wants to be the king. He wants a crown set upon his head now. I mean, damn. Yeah, he wants to be king. Right. He wants this man position. How bold you got to be to tell a man, asking you, what would you do for somebody of honor? What would you do when you think about yourself and you simply tell him, I want your position.
Right.
I want your job. I want your spot. I want to be the head of I.S.U.P.K. That's what I want to be. Come on, man.
Wow.
You want this? And that's how you is? You want my position.
Right.
Keep going. That's brotherhood for you. That's the second man in charge. That's brotherhood for you, right? I want to be you. Keep going, man.
Verse 9. And let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man with all whom the king delighted to honor, and bring him on horseback through the city, through the streets of the city, Salakia, and proclaim before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighted to honor.
This nigga wanted the damn parade. He wanted the parade in honor of himself with all the fancy things. Like he won the Super Bowl by himself. He won the NBA championship by himself. That's what he wanted.
Right.
That's what he wanted, man. Pride coming for the fall. Keep going.
Verse 10. Then the king said to Haman, make haste and take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai.
Say who to who?
To Mordecai.
That Jew.
The Jew.
The one who wouldn't bow down to you in the daggone out of court, in the courts, whatever. Give it to him. All these things, these lavish lifestyle that he wanted. King said, you know what? Yeah, do all that stuff you're talking about and give it to Mordecai.
Right.
Can you imagine his face in fury? Could you imagine? could you imagine what?
Right.
They start to stutter and start to sweat. He won't even bow to me. He didn't even follow the rules. This nigga's mad. He is upset, bro. Go ahead.
That's lucky, sir. He came to ask to hang him
Mhm.
on the gallows.
That's right. His intent was to hang him while they go into at that banquet. His intent was to hang Mordecai. So the same person he wanted to hang, he gotta edify him. He gotta bring him up at the highest esteem because he laid the elaborate everything that was elaborately lit. He made that. So the king said, whatever, all that stuff you said, yeah. All that stuff you said, give it to Mordecai.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right.
But rightfully so.
Right.
Let's keep going, brother. Let's keep going.
Thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighted to honor.
Mm-hmm. The Jew. Keep going.
Salakia. Salakia, sir. I read the wrong verse.
Yeah.
Then the king said unto Haman, make haste and take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew that sitteth at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken.
Don't whatever you said, make sure he goes to pass. Don't leave nothing out. Remember the fine apparel, the crown on the head, all those details that you had. Make sure you keep them same details. Keep that same energy when you put that shit together and give it to him. For that Jew.
Right.
That's in Haman's mind that he's gonna kill.
Right.
Let's go. Keep going.
Verse 11. Then Haman the apparel and the horse and arrayed Mordecai and brought him on horseback through the street of the city.
Can you imagine that picture? Why? What's up? What's up? What going on? Yeah. I can see Mordecai just like buck.
Like it, sir. I think that's offensive.
But I mean, the spirit on us, we know what we gonna do.
Right.
He's ready to be. He got new clothes on.
Yeah.
He got the king's horses running.
Right.
I mean, I would act a fool. Yeah. I know how Judah's gonna get down. I know how he gonna do. But this was going on, man. Now Mordecai's furious, man. Mordecai he's mad as hell. I can imagine Mordecai. He gotta watch this. After he gotta bring it to him first, he gotta make sure all the stuff is done and then watch him parade around the city where he thought it was for him. He had to give it to Mordecai, and Mordecai just chilling in the chariots, just riding. That's crazy. But that's God. Keep going.
God. Thus shall it be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor. Verse 12. And Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his house mourning and having his head covered.
Nigga was sick. He was sick. He was mad. He was sick that this stuff is going down, man. He's upset. He's sick as hell. Keep going.
Verse 13. And Haman told Zeresh, his wife, and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh his wife unto him, if Mordecai be the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shall surely fall before him.
That's deep right there, because that spirit recognized that spirit.
Right.
Read the last part again. Read the start back from Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews. Go ahead. I want you to let this sink in.
If Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shall surely fall before him.
We're gonna fall. You're gonna fall before them. If he's the seed of the Jews, and he recognizes, he understands what's going on. He knew back then what's happening. Mordecai, I mean, Haman's understanding this, but he's like, man, he's got to fall though. He wants him to fall. But being that you're from the seed of the Most High, it's gonna be hard to drop these people. It's gonna be hard. Let's keep going.
Verse 14. And while they were yet talking with him, came the king's chamberlains and hasted to bring Haman unto the banquet that Esther had prepared.
So while he's thought on all these things, he's thinking on all this, chamberlains come, hey, let's go. We gotta go. king, the queen is ready to go. The banquet has started.
Right.
So now we're going on to verse 7. Right.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 7 and verse 1. So the king and Haman came to the banquet with Esther the queen. Verse 2. And the king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is the petition, Queen Esther?
Hey, boo. What's up, boo? What you want? What you want, babe? What you want? He's still trying to figure out what this petition is that Esther wants from him. Keep going.
And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed, even to half of the kingdom.
Keep telling him the same thing. Whatever you want, baby, I got you. Just tell me what you want. Now he's begging out. Let me know what you want, baby. What you want? Keep going.
Verse 3. Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king.
Salakia, sir. Salakia, Adawan. If you find favor in my sight, if I've done all these things for you, I've just been humble in your presence. This is how she's talking. You know, sweet lips. Go ahead.
And if it please the king.
If it pleases you, sir. Go ahead.
Let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request.
Give me back my life. Now, at this point, he don't understand what's going on. He's like,
right.
She said, just give my people back their life. Because now I'm thinking that she's also understanding that maybe the king know about this because he's the king. He gave it a ring, Haman the ring, stamped on it. This has been honored to him. So she's begging him, give me my life and my people's life back. That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
Khan. Verse 4. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage.
This is all the stuff that we're going through. There's been a petition, a letter against us to kill us. Me and my people. We've been sold. Remember, we're in captivity. We're in the Persian and the Medes captivity at this point. We understand we've been sold. But sir, spare my life, spare the lives of my people. She's begging him to let us go. But she's doing it with grace and honor. And not like, oh, you should do this because I'm the queen now. She understands that even though he's my king, I've still got to come to this man humble.
Right.
If I want to get what I need to get from him, period. But it's not a hard job for Esther to come down because she's always been that submissive type of person. She just knew what words to say and how to choose it to make sure she gets what she wants for her people. Keep going.
Khan. Verse 5. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, who is he and where is he that durst presume in his heart to do so?
He's like, what? What are you talking about? What you mean, baby? Who trying to kill my people? Your people.
Right.
What's going on? Your people, my people. What's up, baby? You know what I'm saying? He loving her. Your people, my people. What's up?
Right.
Who trying to do this to you? Now, they all thinking that people know stuff, but they don't know anything. You understand? So keep reading.
Khan. Verse 6. And Esther said, the adversary and enemy.
The devil the Bible speak of.
That's right.
You understand? The devil the Bible speak of is doing this. Keep going.
Is this wicked Haman?
The wicked man Haman. Keep going.
Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen.
Huh? Who, me? Me? I ain't doing nothing. I ain't want to kill nobody. Now he's sitting over there looking stupid.
Right.
Because he knows how fond the king is towards Esther. He knows this. But the king he didn't know what was going on. He had no idea. He was like, yo, whatever, go ahead, brother, do what you got to do. He thinks he's doing it better off for the economy, but wicked Haman is trying to do something wicked because he has a vendetta against the Jews. And now he's like, man, what's going on? What's really happening here? You gonna do what? Now Esther's coming to him and telling him they're gonna kill us, my people. I know we're here in slavery, but if you come up against us, there's no way we can counteract this. We can't prevail because it's been given by the order of you. Right. And he's like, man, who in the hell? What? Right. Tell me more. And then it's Haman. She reveals it's Haman. Now Haman's like, oh, yeah, you mean me? Now it's been found out that she said it, the wicked Haman.
Right.
He is the devil the Bible speak of.
That's
Back then and to this day. And we try to tell them that. I'm sorry, Christ. Clap it up. They said the same thing back then as we say today. Your oppressor is the devil the Bible speak of. That's right. He's the devil, which means deceiver. What more deception can be than this? Haman deceived, almost wanted to pay almost $3 billion. Remember, he put a $3 billion bounty on our heads. And the king didn't even know anything about it. He's deceived. He deceived everybody to do this. So that's what the devil is, to be a deceiver. This is deception. This is deception. And so he's been found out. So don't get mad at us when we call your oppressor the devil to speak of. That's in the Bible. Don't get upset with us because we're only saying what our forefathers and our foremothers has told us. Esther, right here in the book, just called him the wicked Haman. He's the devil the Bible speak of. So keep saying it, brothers and sisters.
Right.
Keep going.
Khan Adawan Khan. Salakia. Verse 7. And the king arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath.
King pissed off. King is mad. Go ahead.
Went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make request for his life.
My bad. Oh, no, don't kill me. He made a request for his life. You know he done messed up. He messed up because the king loved this woman that you about to kill her and his people. Now the king is upset and mad, and Haman is begging for his life right now. Oh my, how the tables turn. Right. He wanted to kill Mordecai, but yet now he's begging for his life. Mordecai just got ran through the whole kingdom, on horses, chariots, chilling. But now Haman is begging for his life now.
Right.
Tell me that the Lord ain't good.
That's right.
I'm gonna say, keep going.
For he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king.
Keep going.
Verse 8. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine. And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was.
Damn. Now you gonna beg Esther. No, keep going.
Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house? And the word went out of the king's mouth. They covered Haman's face.
They forcing him out. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. He falling. Please don't do this to me. Man, get him out of here. Get him out of here. They covered him up. Let's go. Rest him out of there. Let's go. You out of here, bro. Keep going.
Verse 9. And Harbana.
Close enough.
Harbana. And Harbana, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold also the gallows, 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon.
Hold up, sir. His chamberlain. Hey, hold up. Haman was. He got these gallons, 50-foot gallons already ready and pristine with everything hanging, everything ready to go for a public hanging. Why don't we just use that?
Right.
Why don't we just use that? It's already prepared. Clap it up.
Right.
You ain't got to do no preparation.
That's right.
Because Haman already prepped it for Mordecai. Right. And the king said, hang his ass on there. Hang him. Let's hang him on there. Hang him on there. This is what the Lord would do for us, man.
Right.
If you just hold truth to what you know, the Lord will come through for you, man. Right. Even though things look dim, they want to try to kill you. That things like you can never make it out. The Lord has prepared a way for you. You just got to get on board with him and follow what you're supposed to follow.
That's right.
That's all you got to do. Don't worry about what's on the right or left of you, the windstorm. Don't worry about none of that. Because we go by things that you see. We're so visual people. And you see problems and I can't get over it. But we also spiritual beings. We have the Most High God. He loves you. So all you got to do is just, even though it looks bleak, just follow. Just keep following. Keep following. And the person that had it in for you, it's going to be turning around on them. Don't turn around on them. That landlord, he said, I'm going to jack your prices all the way up. Yeah, I'm going to get my money out of you. Next thing you know, he's in foreclosure. The whole building gone. Because he can't afford the money. Right. Now you're living there free. Y'all remember the COVID? Y'all thought we were going to have a hard time during the COVID. Scared a lot of our people, man. We dying all over the place. But that was the best time for black families, man. I mean, I went months and months. I got a little sick, but I went months with money. I ain't had to go to work. I'm on there chilling. I mean, I was good.
Right.
A lot of us was good. We get stimulus checks because what they meant for bad, because everybody said it was set up. Everything, the Lord set everything up. But there was some type of tampering with a lot of things. They wanted to wipe people out. But the Lord said, okay, whatever you meant for evil for our people,
Right.
I'm gonna turn around and you're gonna give our people millions of dollars. And that's just what happened. So now we're at the point now, hey, hang him on them gallows that he made for Mordecai. Understand? Go ahead, keep going.
Khan. Verse 10. So they hanged Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified.
Damn. One of his highest ranking men tried to set up the people, his wife, kill his people, and all of a sudden he got hung on his own gallows that he prepared, and the king was like, now, can you imagine seeing Mordecai swinging back and forth, and the king is like, now I'm satisfied. Because you try to kill my wife and our people. You trying to be slick, you wicked ass bastard.
That's right.
And now we good to go. Damn, let's keep reading.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 8 and verse 1. On that day did the king Ahasuerus give the house of Haman the Jews enemy unto Esther the queen. And Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her. And the verse 2. And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman.
Before they killed Haman, he got his ring back.
Right.
Remember, he gave him his signet to make that make those provisions to make that those letters to go send out. So he took the ring back before he hung. Get my ring back. Go ahead and gave it to Esther.
Salakia.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep reading.
And gave it unto Mordecai.
Gave it unto Mordecai. That's a big deal when you take off the king's ring and he give it to you, because actually, when you do that, he's promoting you up to a position. Now, Mordecai is a Jew. In the Persian and Mede, they were in the empire.
Right.
And he takes off his ring and gives it to Mordecai. Now, Mordecai, second man in charge.
That's right.
Who else was second man in charge? We had a story something similar like this before in Egypt. Who was second man in charge in Egypt? I'm asking. I know you know. Go ahead, brother. Second man in charge, Joseph. We can't be prominent people in there.
Right.
Essentially, when Obama was in charge, who essentially was the second man in charge with him? His wife. She could have been in his ear, telling him, "Don't do that. Let's get our people out of it." Because Obama couldn't have been a black man, really, because if he was a black man, the first thing a brother would, I know if I was a president, the first thing I'm doing, I'm going to get my little Pookie out of jail. Pookie and Ray, I'm getting let's reform this prison because that's crazy. But he did some things that was Obama's in the sight of the Lord, and she allowed it. She sat back and nothing happened. She could have changed things. Just like Esther changed things, Michelle Obama could have changed things for black people. And it never was done. Because he was a heathen. She was Israelite. Here we got the same thing. He's a king, a heathen, and she's Israelite. And she used her mouth and talked to him and saved his people. So Michelle Obama could have did the same thing for black people, to use her mouth and her words to help us, man. At that time that he was a president, many black people was getting killed left and right, getting shot by the police left and right. George Zimmerman, I think, was going on with that. All these things, we was getting killed. Jordan Davis, we was getting all these people under the reign of President Obama, and he did nothing for black people. And Michelle Obama, I know y'all sister love her. She had no guidance. She didn't understand that she could have the power to change all that. But only if she would have been in the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander General Yahanna, nigga, we'd have ran this world.
That's right.
We would have ruled this world. But this was going on. So now Haman here, he took off his ring and gave it to the king. Took off his ring and gave it to Mordecai. Man, let's keep going from there.
And Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman.
What? Now he's over the house of Haman. Second man in charge. This is from a brother who wouldn't bow down to nobody.
Right.
He didn't compromise. He never compromised and fell under their laws, and he still was lifted up, raised up.
Right.
To second man in charge. What does that tell you, brothers and sisters? That tell you don't compromise nothing. Ain't nothing worse compromise, because the Lord wants to see if you're gonna, you're gonna sell out for him or if you're gonna hold fast. The Lord gonna put you through tests. He's gonna put the demons on you. You got to show the Lord that you're worthy of getting that position that he's gonna put you in.
Right.
You're worthy of that rank raise. You're worthy of that man that comes your way. You're worthy of whatever the Lord is gonna give you. He's going to put you through tests. That's why I went over that scripture in the beginning. 2 and 1. Baruch 2 and 1. We went over that scripture so I can set you up to understand. Follow what the Lord asked you to do. I know it seems wild, but follow it, man. Don't move to the left or to the right, even though things seem bleak. Don't worry about it. Just hold fast to what you know, and the Lord's gonna come through. Because we always say, I love the Lord. Yahweh gonna come through for me. Most High in Christ. We always say that. But when it's time to step it up and put your action, the words into actions, that's when you see brothers and sisters falter, dropping their swords because they can't handle it. Husband tell you to do something, now you're all out of your mouth, coming all out of left ear for him because you can't handle it. When all you got to do is just be humble. If that man is not right, don't worry. The Lord will correct things. The Lord can't correct the man, you know that. He can make it. If you're going to the right, you want to go to the left, the Lord will turn him around and go left. That's what's going to happen. Just don't ever compromise yourself. Go ahead, brother.
Khan. Verse 3. And Esther spake yet before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him with tears to put away the mischief that Haman the Agagite and his device that he had devised against the Jews. Verse 4.
She saved? Y'all gonna say, well, she bowed down at the heathen's feet. No. Everything on her, she collapsed at his feet and cried because she just saved the whole kingdom. She collapsed, man. You ever get so tired, you fight, you get home, and then you at work, and you've been going through everything that the heathen been throwing at you at your job. You come and throw. I mean, they're making you work overtime. They're taking your job. They're taking another rank that you're a position. They take it away, give it to somebody else. And you come home, and your wife say, "Baby, how you doing?" And you fall because you had enough. That's what she was going through right then. She wasn't bowing down to him. She just had enough. She was stressed out. The job that she did was the job of a man. She was dependent upon to come through for her people, man. You're talking about millions of Jews. It was on her. It was on her shoulders. I always say hips are made for women. Shoulders are made for men. We hold things on our shoulders. Women hold things on their hips. So she held the whole Israelite world on her shoulders. And she came through.
Right.
And she was exhausted, man. She was exhausted. Keep going.
Khan. Verse 4. Then the king held out the golden scepter toward Esther. So Esther arose and stood before the king.
Here you go, baby. Don't worry about it. I got you still. King's still in love with this girl, man. Still in love with her. With her demeanor. Even with her, even with that, if I was a king, I would see her. She's courageous, man. This woman, she stood up with what she knew. She was courageous, man. That's why the sister got a book of Esther in the Bible, man. That's courageous. Most women wouldn't have went through that. They would have been like, no, I'm good. I'm straight. Ain't gonna kill me. I'm gonna live. Me and my family gonna live. I'm gonna make sure Mordecai gonna be all right. I'm gonna make sure my kid gonna be all right. Everybody else, hey, sorry, I can't help you. But she didn't do that because Mordecai even reminded her, don't think that you're gonna go off there and live with them happy and healthy. He's gonna come for you too. These are your people. He had to remind her of that. And she understood that. And she went to war. She went to war. Keep going.
Khan, verse 5. And said, if it please the king, and if I have found favor in his sight.
She's still putting it on thick. She's still being that feminine woman. If you found favor in my sight, in your eyes, if it pleases you, sir, Salaki Adawan, if I could, keep going.
And the thing seemed right before the king.
And if you think this is good, if you think it's good, go ahead.
And I be pleasing in his eyes.
Uh-huh.
Let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews which are in all the king's provinces.
Now you got to remember, the letter's still out there. That letter is still out there.
Right.
And people still getting ready to kill the Jews.
Right.
But it had to come from the head to fix it. Now she's asking, quickly, sir, can you reverse that letter and send it back out with that stamp to let people know that they called it off. So the job still wasn't completely done yet.
Right.
Because all the prophets are ready to ride horses and ready to start slaying. So now she got to hurry up and get it back out to reverse this letter. Go ahead.
Verse 6. For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people? Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred? Verse 7.
She's petitioning now. Go ahead.
Then the king Ahasuerus said unto Esther, the queen, and to Mordecai the Jew, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews.
You better get your damn hands off the Lord's anointed.
Right.
That's what you better do. You better get your hands off, because you were going to try to put your hands on the Jew. Now Esther is over the house. Her and her father is over the house of Haman. Jews. Lord said, man, take your hands off my people, man. Because you try to seek to kill us. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to raise them all up now. Instead of you killing them, I'm going to save them. They're going to have more Jew babies.
That's right.
There's going to be more of us. And rose Esther up to the house of Haman, man. That's crazy. Let's clap it up for Esther, man. Keep going. We're going to finish it up.
Verse 8. Write ye also for the Jews, as it liketh you, in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring. For the writing which is written in the king's name and sealed with the king's ring may no man reverse.
Do this, and no man's going to overturn this. Keep going.
Verse 9. Then were the king's scribes called at that time in the 3rd month, that this, the month Sivan, on the 23rd day thereof. And it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews, and the lieutenants, and the deputies, and rulers of the provinces which are from India unto Ethiopia, and 127 provinces, unto every province according to the writing thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing and according to their language.
Now, yeah, they're moving readily.
Right.
They're making haste to try to get all these letters overturned. There's over 1,200 provinces. I believe there's over 1,200 provinces right now. They're trying to get these letters out as fast as possible, because there was a day and time. Remember, Haman already set the time. He said it.
Right.
So now all those lieutenants and all them contributories, they're ready to get down. They sharpen their swords right now. They're like, oh yeah, we got some Jews to kill. They ready to go.
Right.
So they got to hurry up and get these letters out. Keep going.
Verse 10. And he wrote in the king Ahasuerus' name, and sealed it with the king's ring, and sent letters by post on horseback, and riders on mules, camels, and young dromedaries. Verse 11. Wherein the king granted the Jews which were in every city to gather themselves together, and to stand for their life, to destroy, to slay, and to cause to perish all the power of the people and the provinces and the province that would assault them.
Now the king is telling them, yo, stand for yourself. Get your swords. Get ready to fight. It's time to fight. Stand up against yourself now. Before it was going to be an onslaught before. Now he's telling them, no what? Gird your loins. Just get ready to fight. Y'all get ready to fight and stand for your people. Keep going.
Both little ones and women. And to take the spoil of them for a prey.
Let's go. Keep going.
Upon one day in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, namely upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, the copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people, and that the Jews should be ready against that day to avenge themselves on their enemies.
They're
Verse
saying get ready.
14.
They're getting ready, man. They're getting looted up. They're getting women, children, all they're getting ready to go. We're getting ready to go to war. Because remember, these people don't even know that it's been reversed from the king. So all these provinces, they're ready to get down. Keep going.
So the post that rode upon mules and camels went out, being hastened and pressed on by the king's commandment. And the decree was given at Shushan, the palace. Verse 15.
Man, the way he moving like he a Jew. He moved like that's his people. That's how much he loved Esther, man.
Right.
He's trying to make a move. And that's how you know the Lord is with you. He's moving as if they're trying to kill the Persians. They're trying to kill the Jews. He ain't got nothing to do with the Jews, except that's his wife. But he's moving on her behalf to save her people. Keep going.
Salaki, sir. Verse 15. And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue
Damn.
and white.
Mordecai got flies out, didn't he? Mordecai got all the royal stuff on now. He's the number 2. He's the man now. So now he's going out in royal apparel. Man. Once he was in the daggone. Just remember, he was in the courts in sackcloths, getting ready to get killed. You know, sackcloth and ash and screaming in the courtyard as loud as he could. Now he's dripped in Raymond LaPere. Now he's in the royal apparel, riding out as number 2 man.
Right.
Oh, sorry, in Christ. Keep going.
And with a great crown of gold, and with a garment of fine linen and purple.
Fine linen and purple. Oh, damn. Go ahead. Purple was also back in the significance of royalty.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad. Verse 16. The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor. Verse 17. And in every province and in every city wherewithsoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness and a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews. For the fear of the Jews fell upon them.
Man, they was afraid. Man. They wanted to be like you. They saw how we was getting down, man.
Right.
We was riding on them jokers. We was riding on them, man. We was preparing ourselves. Now we're like, man, I want to be a Jew. I want to be a Jew. This is how much the Lord has blessed them, man. We got 2 more chapters. We're gonna finish it up. Keep going.
Khan. This is the book of Esther, chapter 9 and verse 1. Now in the 20th month, that is the month of Adar, and the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, thought it was turned to the contrary, and the Jews had rule over them that hated them.
Now everything done flipped upside down, man. The Lord turned things upside down. Now the people that was going to kill them, now the Jews, Mordecai and Esther restored faith back in the Jews, to the Jewish people, to the Jews. They gave you back that honor again. They seen them riding on the horse. Now we on top. So much so that people wanted to be us. Right. They wanted to be us. Ain't no difference to the day. People want to be us to this day. We got that flavor. Right. We got that flavor of the month. And they want to be just like us. It was going on right then and there. So now the enemies that hated them, now we're going to have to kill them. Keep going.
Khan, verse 2. The Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus to lay hand on such so sought their hurt. And no man could withstand them, for the fear of them fell upon all people.
They was afraid of us. They was afraid of the Jews, man. The Israelites had something, man. We walked down the aisle, but they was looking for fear in life. They was afraid of us. That's how much power the Lord gave us through Esther and Mordecai. Keep going.
Verse 3. And all the rulers of the provinces and the lieutenants and the deputies and officers of the king helped the Jews, because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them.
The fear of the Lord fell upon them that Mordecai had.
Right.
And even all the dignitaries, the lieutenants, everybody was like, yo, we on your side. We fighting for you.
Right.
They was against them just a few minutes ago. And now they riding for us, for the Israelites. They riding for our nation. They helping us slaughter everybody that had it in for us. Right. That's how the Lord moves when you're obedient, when you hold true to what you know, when you don't compromise. The Lord gonna ride for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's right. Keep going, brother.
Verse 4. For Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame went out throughout all the provinces. For this man Mordecai waxed greater and greater.
Man, damn. I mean, you got like this is Mordecai daggone kingdom, man. Mordecai he was running the kingdom. That's just how it was. Mordecai is great. Israel is great at this point right now. He saved all his people. Now they're telling him that he's great. Keep going.
Khan, verse 5. Thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword, and slaughter and destruction, and did what they would unto those that hated them. And in Shushan, the palace, the Jews slew and destroyed 500 men.
That's just in the palace. They ain't talking about the providence. Just in the palace, they slew 500 men. Keep going.
Okay, Khan.
Now these names gonna be hard, so just bear with the brother.
And Parshandatha, and Dolphin, and
just drop down to verse 10, brother. Just drop down to verse 10. That's all. These are all the sons of Haman. Go ahead.
Right. Verse 10. The 10 sons of Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the enemy of the Jews, slew they, but on the spoil they laid they not their hand.
So he slew their men. These are 10 sons of Haman. They wasn't killed in action at the time right now. They were spared for the moment. Keep going.
Verse 11. On that day, the number of those that were slain in Shushan, the palace, was brought before the king. Verse 12.
Now we're waiting on the number of how many people died in all this place.
Right.
They wanted to kill all of us, but now we're going to bring you forth the number of how many people died in this whole ordeal. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And the king said unto Esther the queen, the Jews have slain and destroyed 500 men in Shushan the palace. And the 10 sons of Haman, what have they done in the rest of the king's provinces?
Keep going.
Now what is thy petition?
Go ahead.
And it shall be granted thee.
Man.
Or what is thy request further? And it shall be done.
She ain't stopped there. So we got another petition. We got another request, sir. Salakia, sir, if I may. That ain't all that's been done. There's something else I want you to do. He said, what is it, my queen? What else you want to be done? Keep going.
Verse 13. Then said Esther, if it please the king, let it be granted to the Jews which are in Shushan to do tomorrow also according unto this day's decree, and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged upon the gallows.
You know what? I want his sons to be hung up with his daddy. I want his wicked ass sons to be hung up there right with him.
Right.
That was the petition. She said it ain't over yet. We gonna kill 500 in the palace, and also we want his sons to be hung on the gallows right next to his father.
That's right.
Keep going.
Verse 14. And the king commanded it so to be done.
King said, so mote it be. Keep going.
And the decree was given at Shushan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons.
Damn. Hung his sons with him. Go ahead, sister.
Esther was very, very much one West.
She was
That's right.
Esther was very much one West. Damn right, man. Esther was riding, boy. Esther said, I ain't gonna stop there. I ain't gonna stop this. I like you, sir, if I could. Could you hang your sons with him? Keep going, brother. Keep going. Damn.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 15.
All right.
For the Jews that were in Shushan gathered themselves together on the 14th day, also of the month Adar, and slew 300 men at Shushan. But on the prey, they laid not their hand.
Keep going.
The book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 16. But the other Jews that were in the king's province gathered themselves together and stood for their lives, and had rest from their enemies, and slew of their foes 70 and 5,000. But they laid not their hands on the prey.
It was just, they was going killing. They was on a killing mission. They stood for themselves because inside the palace, there was 500 men, but they didn't go. They went out beyond Shushan, and they was our brothers and sisters was killing. The Lord was with them even at that time. The Lord was with them. They slew 75,000 people. 75,000. 500 in the city, 300 somewhere else. We was killing. It was a bloodbath. But just imagine, it could have been just very well the other way around. We could have been killed.
Right.
but because of her heroism, it's a whole nother thing. We're taking their lives now. Keep going.
I got you. This is the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 17. On the 13th day of the month of Adar, and on the 14th day of the same rested day, and made it a day of feasting and gladness.
Oh yeah, keep going.
Verse 18. But the Jews that were at Shushan assembled together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th day thereof, and on the 15th day thereof, of the same day they rested, and made it a day of feasting and gladness.
So on these certain days, the Jews came together and said, you know what? We're going to come together and have a feast on these days. And that's what you're seeing right here.
Right.
That's what you're seeing right here, man. Keep going.
Verse 19. Therefore, the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month Adar a day of gladness and feasting, and a good day, and of sending portions one to another.
Keep going, verse 20.
Verse 20. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus, both nigh and far, to establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar, and the 15th day of the same yearly.
This is what we need to do. He said the 15th day, the 14th day, and the 15th day, which we're in that stuff now, right now. That is the Feast of Purim that we're in right now. Because of the heroism of Mordecai and Esther. We had a day that we set aside, that we celebrate because of what they did.
That's right.
You understand? Right. Clap it up for that, man. That's what it is. Keep going.
Verse 22. As the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies.
From who?
The Jews rested from their enemies.
From their enemies. Go ahead.
And the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor.
That's what we do right now. Right now, for yesterday, the 14th, and today is the 15th. This is what we do.
Right.
We came and brought portions. The sisters cooked some amazing food yesterday and today. Clap it up for them. It was amazing. We had the sisters got together and they had the tiaras for the kids and also the scepter for the boys. Gifts. That's what we did.
Right.
We sent it out. We are supposed to observe this day every year. We observe these 2 days because of what they have done for us. Keep going. We're gonna finish it out.
Khan. Verse 23. And the Jews understood to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them. Verse 24. Because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast pure that is the lot to consume them and to destroy them.
It was plotting on us to destroy it. It was casting lots to determine how they're going to destroy us on that day. But it never happened. Keep going.
Verse 25. But when Esther came before Esther.
Who?
Esther.
Damn right. When Esther came before, go ahead.
Came before the king, he commanded by letter that his wicked device, which he devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows.
The thing that you wanted for us, you got.
Right.
Not only did you get, you done killed your sons with it too.
Right.
So how wicked he was fell on all his family. They all gone. You got a reader? All right, we got another reader gonna read. Go ahead.
Chapter 9, verse 24. Wherefore they called the days Purim after the name of her. Therefore, for all the words of his letter and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and which they and which had come into the
Clap it up, man. Clap it up. That was our young reader, man. Our young reader, Hadar Moth, the son.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And come to get along in his truth, man. He's growing strong in his truth. You understand?
That's right.
But at this verse, in verse 26, this is where we get the Feast of Purim at, man. This is why we get the Feast of Purim. This is why this day is these 2 days are very important to our culture. Everyone needs to know this. No one knows. We survived today because of these two people. Because of Esther, we are here today to call ourselves Jews, Israelites. Without that, without what they've done, we wouldn't exist today. We wouldn't exist today. So that's where we get the Feast of Purim from. So we're going to go ahead and finish it out. Let's go ahead and on verse. Let me see. I want to read the most important parts of it. Let's drop down to verse 30.
Khan. This is the book of Esther, chapter 9 and verse 30.
29.
Oh, Khan.
All right.
And verse 29. Then Esther the queen, the daughter of Abihail, and Mordecai the Jew, wrote with all authority to confirm this second letter of Purim.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent the letter unto all the Jews.
That's right.
To the 127 provinces.
Oh, the 1,200 provinces. Go ahead.
Of the kingdom of Ahasuerus, with words of peace and truth.
Go ahead. Keep going.
To confirm these days of Purim in their times appointed, according as Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoyed them, and as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed, the matters of the fasting and their cry. Verse 32. And the decree of Esther confirmed these matters of Purim, and it was written in the book.
It was written in the book. Clap it up, man. That's how you get Purim. That's why it's very important on these days that the Lord tell us that like this is not a high holy day, but this is a damn sure day that you should always put in your remembrance and come back to this every year and be here, because you would not be who you are today without these two people.
Right.
We was facing elimination. We was facing to be killed on sight unseen. We were supposed to die, and our children would have never came through this. That was the end of the slaughter of all Israelites. We was done. But the Lord saw fit to let us keep on living, because somebody thought it was great to pay attention, to use her words, to follow her uncle, and do exactly what the Lord told them to do. And how she did it, it just said she fasted, and she cried unto the Lord. You have to fast. You have to cry unto the Lord when things go wrong, and He'll walk you out of it.
That's right.
He'll walk you out of it. So let me see what we got. We got this is the last verse 10. We got, you know what? We're gonna read. It's only two. Y'all wanna, 2 verses? You can read 2 verses. You can't read 2 verses. See, that is not a good Esther right there. She don't know how to use a word. So lucky, sir. If you may please the officer, if you could, Baba Kashaw, read those 2 last verses. So we're gonna read those last 2 verses real quick, and then we go ahead and close it up.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 10 and verse 1. And the king Ahasuerus laid a tribute upon the land and upon the isles of the sea. Verse 2. And all the acts of his power and of his might, and the declaration of the greatness of Mordecai, whereunto the king advanced him, are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Media and Persia?
That's a question. You see, it's not written in the books of the Medians and the Persians. Go ahead.
Right. Verse 3. For Mordecai the Jew was next unto King Ahasuerus.
Number 2, he's next to the king. Go ahead.
And great among the Jews.
Mordecai was great among the Jews. Keep going.
And accepted of the multitude of his brethren, seeking the wealth of his people, and speaking peace to all his seed.
To all his people, man. Clap it up for Mordecai. Esther was the queen, man, but she listened to Mordecai.
That's right.
I'll tell you, sisters, get under a great leader. Get under a great man. If you're an I.S.U.P.K, you're under a great leader.
That's right.
You're under. Commander General Yahanna is the great leader, man. It is not. Don't take my word for it. Just watch his actions, man. Just watch his actions. I was able to meet him for the first time when I was a young man. I think I was a young man in truth. I don't know if I wasn't even a trooper up in New York, and he treated me with kindness. Didn't even know who I was, but stood out there and shook my hand and talked to me like he was just on the block. He displays excellent leadership and excellent brotherhood. So if you have a leader like that, get at his feet and learn. If you have a great man, I know he have faults. Your husband ain't perfect, but if he's trying to lead you into the scriptures and to teach you how to be a woman of God, listen to that brother. He ain't always gonna be perfect. He's gonna make some mistakes, but just be humble and have patience with that brother. Have patience with your rib. She may not come on all the way. She might question the things that you're doing, but have patience with that sister. And then you too will get all the blessings that the Lord is going to give to you. You tried everything else. You tried being verbal abusive. You tried, I'm sure, you tried cussing each other out. You tried leaving. Brothers, you let some sisters go. Try another way. Try to keep them into the truth and encourage them and lead them. Let's try that and see how it's going to happen. Understand? Let's clap it up. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got any comments? We got any questions in the chat or anything like that? Anybody want to see the chat room? Got any monsters? But as far as inside here, did anybody got any comments, questions?
What does the word purim mean?
Purim means hell. Purim is casting of lots. Purim. It means it was parah in parasha in the Hebrew. If you go back up and look at it, we're gonna go to it. Give me 1 second. You found it? Give that the HTML. Give me what you can find it at as well. Give the coordinates with it.
Purim, deriving from
Pawar. There you go. Okay. That's in Hebrew. It's called Pawar. Go ahead.
Pawar, as in lot or peace.
Mm-hmm.
A special feast among Hellenistic Jews to celebrate the destruction of Haman and his family.
That's what it was, because Lot was casting Purim. He was casting our Lot in Pur, which means he was making a decision to destroy us. So now we celebrate the destruction of them because of what she did. So the Feast of Purim, to sum it up, the Feast of Purim is the celebration of our enemies who sought to kill us. That's what it is. All right, that answers your question? All right, no sacrifice. Anybody else? No sweat, no sweat. Anybody else? Any statements? Any comments? Come on now. I'm sorry. I know, sisters. I know y'all want to say something. Are you proud of your sisters? Are you proud of Sister Esther? Is the Bible misogynistic? Go ahead, sis.
Okay, so we don't use the word queen.
Right.
So what will we say to people that say, "Oh, y'all did have a queen"?
She wasn't the queen of Egypt. She wasn't the queen of Israel.
Oh, okay.
She was a Persian queen.
Okay.
So even to this day, we still had never had a queen because that's not our custom. But the queen that they're talking about, Esther was a queen, but she was a Persian to mean queen to the king. That was theirs. You know what I'm saying? But Mordecai stepped in.
Because the people in the world is not going to understand.
Right. Mm-hmm. Tell them to call me. Tell them to call me to break it down, because people in the world don't understand the Bible, and they want so much for us to have a queen. They got the queen bee, they got queen this. So sisters want to be the queen, so they'll reverence and say, because actually the Bible don't say it was Queen Esther. The book is the book of Esther. So for our people, we never had a queen. That was a Persian and mean. So if they go back and read, then they will get it. But they just want to fit in their way. That's all they want. So, yeah. No sweat. That's a good question, though. Anybody else? What about your statements? Go ahead, brother.
Salaki, sir. I believe similar to the time of the book of Susanna, where in the Babylonian captivity, we were able to still carry out our own laws. After all of this happened with Esther in the Persian captivity, it was granted to us again. And I have a precept for that. It says, this is the additions to Esther, chapter 7 and verse 19. Therefore, ye shall publish the copy of this letter in all places, that the Jews may freely live after their own laws.
That's right. And that was in the book of Esther. Did we just read that?
Well, Salaki, sir, it's in the editions, it's in the Apocrypha.
But also in what we just read, it said the same thing in Esther. We go back and we read, because even at the end of it, it's relative to Mordecai. Right. Saying Mordecai, second man in charge. Right. He was over. So Mordecai is going to use whatever our traditions are and he's going to put it towards that. So he don't even look at Esther as a queen. She knows that's her husband. But as far as the Israelites and the Jews, there was no queen. There's no queen. And we kept true, just like the scripture you just brought out, that precept, we going to keep our own laws. Right. That's what we did. So, yeah.
And Salaki, I had a question based on that.
Yeah.
Did that also include the judgments that would happen pertaining to our laws?
At that particular time, if that was the Judites, was the Levites still in play at that time? Who was in Esther? I'm not sure if the Levites were still in place at that time.
Okay.
So, but the laws and judgments still was going through as far as keeping up with the traditions that we had.
Right.
Our laws were still in effect, so we still had to establish our ruling kingdom. But at the same time, we weren't in charge. Right. So we was it's like now. Okay. It's like now. Our Levites are not going to perform those types of things. We got to go to the courts of this kingdom of America when things happen. Right. So we do what we can do within our own confines of the house of the Most High God. But when it comes to matters of the state and things like that, it's got to be going to the Persian kingdom.
Right.
So when people broke the law, Persian kingdom took over. Now we tried our best like we do now. If you go to the brothers, the priests, we can help you out. Right. But when it comes to those big matters and you broke the law of the Persian and the Medes, now you in the hands of them. Because we're still under their slavery. We're still under it. So it was still under their empire, just like it is today. So we got to equate back then as it is today. Just like if Barack Obama had been a real black president, it'd have been something like that. He still was president, but it was over this kingdom. And there it is. All right. No sweat. Anybody else? All right, most high class. Clap it up. Well, without further ado, if there's no other questions, did you want to close down the class? Who's that? Oh, Soup. You want to close it out? No, you gonna close it up? We're gonna pass the class to you. Now, if you could, Baba Show, I'm gonna pass the class to you, Adar. If I could, I'm gonna pass the class to officer, Christian officer, 500, Dharma.
Shalom, Israel. This is security announcements. We're the I.S.U.P.K. Start out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They hate to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if the brother and sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to that brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, come from the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and also the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, which means 10 in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, gives to the treasury department. Priest fund, free offering for priests, not mandatory. What's the amount you'd like to give? Upcoming holy convocations, we are finishing up the Feast of Purim, and upcoming next, April 1st, Lord's 54th annual Passover, you understand, in Raleigh, North Carolina. Right. You understand, the official Passover will be starting April 1st, but there will be other events starting up around the 28th and the 29th of March. You understand, get with your camp leaders and camp leaders to get a full itinerary. All right. Also, if any brother wants to be a trooper to school, start wearing all black. That's boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and war scarves. And also, if you could, whenever you get a chance, please use your maps to put it in the school. That's 3353 Glenwood Road in Decatur, Georgia, to help build an algorithm for the school. And also, we will be changing the calendar very soon, so you can check that for any upcoming events. All right.
Right.
And with that, we'll give a courteous salute for the teacher, men of Israel. Amaju, which means to stand. Men Israel, give him the courage salute. Men Israel, Ma'am Shabbat. Amajim. Barak. Yahabashim Yahshua. What we just said in the Hebrew is, may the Most High, in the name of Christ, bless you. Y'all tie hands down. Sorry, me to turn to the sisters. Sisters, Amajim. Men Israel, give them a courage salute for the sisters. Men Israel, Ma'am Shabbat. Amajim. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alatham Ba'ashim Yahshua. What we just said in the Hebrew is, may the Most High watch over you in the name of Christ. Y'all tie hands down. Class dismissed.
That's right.
I got you.
For so long you've been sighing and crying, begging for justice, and here the Lord is bringing you justice right here to your streets.
CDI.